What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the Blazers Uprise Postgame Show. Brought to you by BetOnline.ag. The Blazers tonight just have a brutal loss. I've been live for the past 2.5 hours just dealing with this misery. Eric over on Suns Valley Podcast. Last night was phenomenal. We had a whole post-game stream. If you didn't check it out, the vibes were immaculate. Tonight, the vibes are in the gutter because, oh my goodness, this game was absolutely brutal. It was brutal. The Blazers lose 102-82, taking on the Phoenix Suns for the third and final time this season. They do win the season series by a split of 2-1. So I would absolutely taken that. We'll look ahead at the schedule as there's still reason for optimism. Just tonight was not it. But first, shout out to BetOnline for sponsoring this postgame stream once again, as this is a Blazers Uprise postgame show presented by BetOnline.ag, where you can find the latest odds, team, matchup info, player news, and game trends for NBA games if you want to bet on them. And as your continued source for all sports wagering info, BetOnline features live betting, free contests, and giveaways all season long. Head over to BetOnline to join and receive your 50% welcome bonus with your first deposit if you use the promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV. Thank you to them once again for sponsoring this postgame stream. Eric, how's it going?
Oh, it's fine. I mean, like you said, kind of a disappointing effort tonight. I think we talked so much yesterday about how when you play a certain way, you can be in any ball game pretty much, but when you're missing your top guys, you can't afford to not also give that same effort that you gave last night. You have to bring that every time if you want to have a chance to win. And I felt like pretty early in this game, it was evident that we just were not going to play the same way that led to us winning last night. And that's somewhat frustrating to me. But at the end of the day, if you would have told me we'd split the games, I guess you got to take it. Just a little disappointed that we had to watch a game that was like our early season road games last year, effort-wise.
Yeah, I mean, at least it happened in Game 4 on the second night, facing the same team where the night before we got a miraculous win considering who they were missing and who it was. So, every team's bound to have games like this. Pretty much every team in the NBA has had a game like this except for Phoenix. Their 2 losses are by 2 points, both to the Blazers. So, definitely a tough loss. I don't miss these losses, but at least it's the first loss like this all season long. Like, they lost to Miami, but then got hurt that game. That kind of sucked. But this was the first game where the Blazers legitimately got blown out of the building, and it's game 9. And last year, it was basically every road game to start the year. They got their third road win last night. They got their third road win last year on January 15th. So we're 2.5 months ahead of schedule right now. So overall, in the grand scheme of things, like, I expected to lose tonight. I expected to get blown out tonight. I expected Phoenix to bring their A game. Maybe they were taking us a little bit lightly last night or not being able to match our intensity. I was just hoping that we'd at least compete in this one a little bit and play a little bit harder. But, I mean, every team has these games once in a while, man, where they just don't bring it. And considering the emotional high of last night, I'm unfortunately not really surprised. So it just sucks when it happens, obviously, and it sucks being on a Suns fan stream and just after all the trash talk back and forth for the past 24 hours between Suns and Blazer fans. It just wish it would have been awesome to beat them all 3 times and not have a questionable travel call to do it or whatsoever. But this game sucked because, dude, like, not to sit here complaining about the refs, but oh my goodness, that was refereeing I thought was miserable. I'm not going to spend too long on this. You can disagree if you guys want to, but this referee crew was brutal in my opinion. What'd you think?
Yeah, I mean, I felt like they did not let us play the same way that they were playing. The main part of that would be Nurk gets a ball in the middle of the paint, and Ayton two-hand bodies him. Clear foul would have been Ayton's third foul in the second quarter. They don't call it. They get the ball, go the other way. Aiton posts up, Nurk like barely even touches him, and they call a ticky-tack foul on Nurk, and then he gets a technical foul, and things just kind of spiraled from there. And it's just, I mean, stuff like that is frustrating, but we had done a really good job so far this year of not letting the teams beast at the free throw line, and I felt like tonight we got in the bonus or the penalty early in quarters, and we just continued to make stupid fouls the whole quarter. And when the refs are calling your side of it tight, you can't like for example, Keon comes in the game, we're in the penalty, and he closes out and just bodies up on someone on the 3-point line, and it's just completely unnecessary, and they get free throws out of it. It's like little things like that we just continually did tonight, and you can't do like things like that when you're missing your two best players and expect to win games.
Yeah, absolutely. And if they're calling ticky-tack stuff, as long as they call it even, fine. If they're letting the ticky-tack stuff go, as long as they're doing it even, fine. I thought it was inconsistent, very inconsistent. Phoenix was able to get away with more. I mean, the Blazers in the first half had 38 two-point shots, like attacking the rim, because they don't shoot many mid-ranges. They didn't shoot many mid-ranges in the first half. They've been one of the league leaders in points in the paint. Normally, teams that attack the rim get to the free throw line. They had 38 shots from two. Phoenix only had 24, and Phoenix had 15 free throws to Portland's 5 at half. I thought that was kind of interesting, but I mean, the refs aren't to blame for the Blazers losing this game.
No,
they lose regardless. You know, it was just frustrating and kind of just made this game worse as a fan and as a viewer. So, Blazers lose this game regardless. I'm not making an excuse. I'm just talking from an entertainment standpoint, trying to watch this game as a fan. It was absolutely freaking brutal.
And the main thing in this game is you have a player like Winslow, right? He is only effective if he's out there doing all the dirty work, grinding, hustling, getting up in people's faces, being physical. And he was just a step slow all night. Just seemed like he was half-assing certain plays, defense, loose with the ball once again. Not really moving at all on offense. And it wasn't just Winslow. I don't mean to single him out, but he's just an example of a player when he's not doing the dirty work out there. There's like no reason to even play him in games because like he doesn't do anything well enough to warrant playing time. And so like when you have efforts like that from a player that you need to step up as a starter without several key guys, like it's really hard to win that way. I mean, I guess 102 points. Our defense doesn't look too bad, I guess, after this, as bad as it could have been in a blowout. But, I didn't like to see the lack of effort from guys who normally you can count on to bring that consistently.
Yeah, and we don't have player cards or anything, so we'll go in depth on players and everything right now. Not going to be a graphic-heavy stream at all. But Winslow was terrible tonight. 5 points, 2 for 9 from the field, 2 assists, 1 for 3 from 3. But it wasn't just him. Like Josh Hart, as a scorer, has been terrible in the past couple of games. He was passive again, yeah. Too passive. We needed Josh Hart to step up offensively. Go ahead.
We talked about that last night, how we got away with it last night, but he needed to, like, actually, take control of the offense probably because we knew they were gonna try to shut down Grant after his big game last night, and unfortunately, Hart just didn't really do much on offense either. I mean, he tried to push the ball a few times, but they had the paint so packed in those situations. I think we only had, I don't know what we finished with, but we only shot 8 threes at half, and we had made 4 of them. But, like, when you're getting blown out and you can't get anything going and they're blocking every shot at the rim, like, at some point you have to make them try to get out of the paint by hitting threes, and we just didn't have any of our players really willing to shoot many of them or make them pay for leaving them open. And obviously that's going to happen when we have non-shooters on the floor, but having Hart be passive once again did not help.
We took 15 threes in this game.
Yeah,
that's a yikes. Out of 79 shots, like at some point when you're not getting the call and attacking the rim isn't working, okay, shoot more threes. Like I'm a proponent of just trying to be aggressive and not just settle for threes, but at some points, like, just look for that 3-point shot. Don't pass up open threes. And I thought this game they passed up too many open threes, and it's like there was times they would drive, seemingly get hammered, and not get to the free throw line. And it gives Phoenix some credit. They play good interior defense as well. Ayton around the rim definitely makes things tough. So Portland, I don't know. They might have the lowest 3-point shooting rate in terms of attempts in the league, which is weird. Obviously, without Dame and Ant, that's not the strong suit of this roster. But they shot 7 for 15, 47%. They shot 38% from the field in general. So that shows you that they're not making anything inside the 3-point line. So tough. Didn't make free throws either. 62%, 15 for 24. And that leads to an 82-point game and 17 turnovers once again for the second straight night.
Yeah. And, I mean, honestly, if you were playing the Blazers without Dame and Ant, wouldn't you just pack the paint and make them shoot threes? And we're unwilling to even shoot them, let alone have many shooters that can hit a bunch in a row or anything. So, yeah, that was a good strategy. I'm surprised they didn't try that strategy more last night when we didn't shoot. I think we only shot 23 or something threes last night, so which is still low. 15 is like crazy low nowadays. But yeah, so smart strategy by them. And like I said, if they're doing that, you have to, I don't know how we can exploit that if we're not like making threes or people aren't confident to shoot them. But at some point you just gotta hope someone gets hot from three and get them some open looks, and it didn't happen tonight. We never really got going. I didn't like the flow of our offense at all. There was so much stagnation after seeing so much good ball movement and passing last night, and it just seemed like no one wanted to move at all, and we had possession after possession. There was a spot, I mean, it didn't really matter because we were down 20, but early in the fourth quarter, we had 2 straight possessions where Nas gets the ball with like 5 seconds left in the shot clock, like between just inside the 3-point line, has the defender right on him, has nowhere to go. One of the times he tries to throw a cross-court pass and gets picked off. The other time he has to take like a step-back fadeaway 19-foot jump shot. And it's just like really crappy offense tonight. And this is exactly how we can't play if we have these kind of lineups.
Yeah, absolutely. We didn't have enough shot creation out there tonight. I thought that was pretty obvious, obviously, with the injuries. But when you don't move the ball and when you're sloppy when you do move the ball and you're not shooting open threes when you get them, a lot of times you're going to need somebody to create. And there was multiple times throughout this game I thought the Blazers just got stuck offensively. Phoenix is a good defensive team. And, they kind of switched things up, packed the paint, as you said. And it's on the Blazers to adjust to that. But I thought it was pretty obvious that the Blazers, just from a personnel standpoint, did not have enough shot creation. And obviously Justice Winslow playing the point guard position, he's not really that much of a threat to score himself. And he's not a 3-point shooting threat. And then Keon playing point guard off the bench, he was 3 for 12, 2 for 3 from 3 at 1 in garbage time. But he was really bad for 4 turnovers with only 3 assists. So it was a situation where at times you had to have like Shaedon Sharpe, Nasir Little try and create off the dribble, and that's not those guys' strong suits yet. Hopefully it will be for both of them someday. More confidence in Sharpe in that regard. But, and then when Josh Hart isn't really a scorer, that could be your shot creator if he's confident as a scorer, but he's just struggling as a scorer, like not picking his spots well, forcing drives into traffic, not shooting enough threes. So basically the only guy you have that you can somewhat consistently rely on to create is Jeremy Grant, who was phenomenal last night, but he has Mikal Bridges guarding him, and the Suns are loading up on him because you got, Nurkic out there. He was 0 for 1 from the 3-point line. I still think teams don't respect him enough. I would have liked to have seen Nurkic shoot more threes after he's been hot the past couple of games. But Winslow is not much of a shooter. Hart is somebody that has passed up a lot of shots, and then you put, Keon Johnson in there, Eubanks, like, you don't have a ton of shooting, so it's easy for a Phoenix Suns defense, which is a good defensive team, to load up on Jeremy Grant. And because he wasn't able to get going, and because the Blazers didn't really execute their offense, they just got stagnant. They didn't move the ball well. They didn't cut well. They didn't do all those little things that they've been doing that has led to them winning games, including the game last night. They didn't do all that stuff. And with Jeremy Grant being the only guy they could consistently rely on to create shots, the results is just a really, really poor offensive night.
Yeah, the other frustrating thing is, I mean, Phoenix torched us in the first quarter where they scored 35 or something. We couldn't really run that much off misses, I guess.
Yeah.
But the rest of the game, we only give up, 65 the rest of the game, or 67 the rest of the game. Mm-hmm. So we got stops the rest of the game. This lineup, you can't get caught in a half-court offense if you're going to be stagnant, like you were saying. And that was something that we did a little bit of. It only resulted in 12 fast break points last night, but we did such a good job of controlling the pace of that game and turning it into a track meet at times where they couldn't set up their half-court defense, which we talked about last night was really good. Their transition defense is not, so I just didn't get why we didn't try to push the tempo at all. And then Josh Hart in particular, this is a guy who was like top 10 finishers in the league last year in terms of non-centers. So to see him not even be able to really get shots off without getting blocked is kind of frustrating because we're just letting the defense get back and set, and he's not pushing the ball up and creating mismatches. So that's the problem when your defense struggles in the first quarter and you don't really establish that tempo.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me thank a couple donations and a member message. Shout out Kevin Reese, member for 15 months. He says, 15 months, though the People's Mix has been banned. I don't know what you mean by the People's Mix or whatever. I don't understand what you're saying, but thank you for being a channel member for 15 months. Appreciate it, Kevin Reese.
I know what it means if you want me to explain it to you.
Sure, if you want to.
Yeah, he's saying that he was banned as the People's Mix, but still supports the channel, so he wants props for doing that, even though he was banned. But in actuality, man, you did some pretty bad things, so you're lucky we didn't ban the Kevin Reese name too.
Yeah, I just didn't want to go there, so I was pretending like I don't know. Yes, I know what the People's Mix is, but thank you for showing support. Yeah. Anyway, Caleb Pendergraft, $5 dono says, man, this game was painful to watch. Sucks to see, but still, 1-1 is solid enough start to the road trip given the conditions. And that's absolutely true. I said I just wanted to win one of the 3 games, the 2 being against Phoenix and then the next game against Miami. So if we can get that next game against Miami, we'll preview that in a little bit, then that's definitely successful. I was hoping for a 3-3 road trip, but I thought 2-4 was realistic. Just need to, take care of business, get healthy. Thank you, Caleb, for the donation. Shout out Thor Leighton, $5 dono says, it would be nice if we would back cut when the Suns overplay us on defense. Both games we didn't adjust to overplaying defense. Yeah, we got cut better, and that's the thing with the effort level and the energy tonight. It was dead, and you can see that in the cutting. Guys that won't make the right cuts and won't make quick cuts. Sometimes the cutting can be a little bit more lethargic and it's not as good, obviously. You could definitely see this team did not bring the energy tonight. Thank you, Thor, for the $5 donation. Shout out Oscar, $2 donation, says, crazy seeing Jabari, Shea, and Keon on the court together. Yeah, it's cool seeing the young talent out there, especially considering Shaden had a really good game. And Jabari looks okay. I just think it's a little bit more of a struggle for him when he's not able to play next to more talented players. But tonight, I wouldn't say Jabari was bad at all in his 16 minutes. Just didn't really do a ton. 3 points, 3 rebounds and assists, 1 for 2 from the field, 1 for 2 from the free throw line. Did have a block on who did Jabari block again? Was it Booker?
Yeah, I think it was Booker, yeah.
Yeah, so which was cool.
And there was a flagrant.
Yeah. That was the flagrant play on Drew Eubanks, and then somehow they had the ball after that.
Yeah, well, flagrant foul is change of possession, so but it sucks.
Is it also a change of possession? I just thought it was 2, and then whoever has the ball keeps it.
No, it's like us fouling them, so it would be their ball.
Ah, got you. Okay. Yeah, that was a bad play from Eubanks and kind of changed the complexion of this game.
Well, yeah, because I think we're down 6 or 8 at the time, and it was 6, yeah, and We get this big momentum block headed the other way. We have a 3-on-2 break with our athletes out running, and Eubanks gets a freaking flagrant foul, and just really frustrating because that was, I mean, we seemingly withstood an early run from them. They played really good in the first quarter, and if we were going to get back in the game, we had to kind of keep it close at that point, and then it just spiraled out of there because they get 2 free throws and the ball, and then we don't really recover from that. It's just frustrating.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of Nas, 3 for 5, 9 points, 2 assists in his 15 minutes. Didn't play much, kind of confusing. He was a minus 21. I don't know if he's to blame. Eubanks in 16 minutes was a minus 27, which is just wildly bad. But I mean, it's plus minus can be noisy. But Keon, Nas, Eubanks lineup did not play well tonight.
Yeah. I'll read this member message from Caleb Pendergraph. Member for 13 months, Sacred Caleb. Given how Nas has been looking the last few games, I wish Chauncey would give him a bit more time on the floor. I felt like it was just, I mean, Chauncey's not really, there's certain players, Sharp's already included in this, that don't seem to be like they're going to play in garbage time, which is fine. I'm cool with that. We saw, John Butler, Greg Brown, that lineup. Watford needed some run because it was his first game of the season. So I'm totally cool with Nas not getting meaningless minutes in garbage time because I don't feel like that really helps him at all. It's not like those reps are crucial to his development or anything. I think just coming in for 10 to 15 minutes, or if he does well, like the 23 minutes he played last night, those type of things are much more important. So in a game like this, I don't really have a problem with Nas not playing a whole lot. But if we're getting blown out early, maybe put him in with the starters and see if he can bring some more energy that Winslow wasn't or something. I don't know what you do. But, the Eubanks thing I do want to talk about, though.
Yeah.
We're down 20. I think we're down 21 at the time. We had – this is in the third quarter. Eubanks was a minus 18. Nurk was a minus 3. So, you're sub Nurk out, I get it. Why don't we go small and run? What is down 21? You have barely shot any threes. What's the point of putting Eubanks in the game there? And we talked about this last night about how he's been fine in his minutes. But that's not the time. We need to get out and run. We need to play. Just mix it up. Play small or go. Just put all your athletes in there. See if you can change the tempo of the game. I just didn't get why you would put someone that obviously wasn't going to help us really catch back up in this game in there if you wanted to try to get back into it.
Yeah. Chauncey's been a little bit robotic in rotations at times this season. I mean, that's situational basketball. You sub in a quick running unit and try and get out and run. Phoenix hasn't been the best transition defense. Get up threes, get out and run. You don't the philosophy is to consistently attack the paint and not just settle for threes, but at times you switch from that philosophy if you're down 20 in the third quarter and Eubanks has not been good in the game, right? Mm-hmm. What do you have to lose? Jock Landale isn't going to really crush you with the bench unit as a big man. Figure something out. And if you don't come back, you don't come back. But at least you maybe gave it a fighter's chance instead of just subbing in a guy who's kind of contributed to their run getting going. And he's just a big center, not super athletic, not going to hit threes, that sort of thing. So, I mean, just kind of everything in this game was brutal. Yeah. This game was not fun. This was the most frustrating, maybe not the most frustrating game of the season, but the most miserable.
Yeah. Well, in 2 of our 3 losses, I don't remember him doing this in the Heat loss, but the Grizzlies loss, didn't Eubanks have a technical?
Yeah.
And then he gets a flagrant in this one. I know
he can't be doing that.
It's not what lost us the game, but when you are the backup center and the most questionable rotational piece, you cannot make those kind of mistakes on the court, and then compound them with getting multiple like 2-shot penalties or a technical foul or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, like Reese says, when you're playing like 10 minutes a game, like you can't be getting technicals out there.
That's not good. Yeah. So now the Blazers are a game behind the Phoenix Suns, but they do have the tiebreaker. They're in fourth place, tied with Memphis and Denver, who are 6-3. Utah's 7-3 in second. I don't expect that to last, and Phoenix up top at 7-2. But Portland hasn't had the easiest schedule. They haven't played the Rockets or the Thunder or the Spurs or, the Magic, Pistons, Hornets, right? After they play Miami next game, they will have played the Heat or the Phoenix Suns for 5 out of their 10 games to start the season. So they'll be done playing those two teams.
We did play Houston once.
Oh yeah, we did play Houston, but that's like the only bottom feeder we played, and we were shorthanded, and we easily took care of business with them. So it's just getting healthy and seeing what the full extent of this team can do, because we haven't seen this team full strength, and it's in the future we'll get some easier games when some of these teams might actually be tanking. So in the end, 6-3 through this game, I absolutely would have taken to start this season. You still got the rest of this road trip. Is there any word on when Dame or Ant might come back?
No, I was actually surprised Ant didn't play tonight, but yeah, I don't know. I don't think he's going to be out that much. I think they're just, like with everyone, they're just being super cautious right now and thinking of it more long term, but I don't really think Ant's going to be out, and Dame I don't think is going to be out too much longer either, so hopefully we get them back here within the next couple games. I mean, it'd be nice to have them both back next game, but
yeah. Jimmy Butler's status for the next game, I don't know what it is. Does anybody in chat know what Jimmy Butler and his status for the next game is going to be? He's been out. I searched something, haven't seen anything from the past couple of days. So Miami, 5:30 p.m. Pacific time, tip-off time. On Monday, we'll have Blazers Uprise live right before that over on the second channel. Go subscribe. And then Charlotte on Wednesday. You definitely need to win one of those two games. I think Charlotte obviously being the easier one. But Miami, if they don't have Jimmy Butler, that's certainly winnable. It just obviously depends on when Dame and Ant get back, because the Blazers, this is the type of game where the Blazers really needed a Damian Lillard or an Anthony Simons to kind of carry them offensively. Last game, Grant carried offensively. The Blazers won. Some other guys stepped up, but this game nobody stepped up offensively at all. And that's how you get an 82 point loss. So need Dame out here would be nice. Dame or Ant, and yeah.
So Jimmy Butler he has a hip injury, hip tightness, missed the last 2 games, obviously. It says game time decision for Monday, estimated return 11/7, which is Monday. So who knows? He's probably going to be questionable heading into that. But yeah, it'd be nice if he didn't play.
Absolutely. Shout out Blazer fan Ebby or Fanaby for becoming a starter level member, and then they have a member message that says rough night but excited for when Dame returns. Yep. Absolutely. Just sucks that he had to get hurt, and this Phoenix Suns team is dealing with Cam Johnson being hurt, but Cam Johnson isn't Anthony Simons or Damian Lillard. So the Suns should have taken care of business in a game like this, especially after they lost last night. Yeah, I don't know. You want to hop into Brandt's breakdown, because I'm running out of things to say about this game already.
Yeah. Just before we get into it, though, let me just say, it sucks to see the effort level tonight, but as long as they don't let it fester into multiple games and they come out and bring that energy next game, we talked about this 2-4 would be a decent road trip with the circumstances and the teams are playing and all that stuff. So just trying to think about bigger picture. It's just hard on a night tonight when we have to rely on that effort, and it's been very good this year, and you just don't see that effort tonight. Like, they were satisfied to get that win last night and didn't really care about this game. So, and poor Veeks went to this game tonight instead of going last night. So he went to the wrong one. But yeah, so we can get into the breakdowns. I just want to I mean, I'm trying to like temper it to be like, we're fine. We've talked about this. This was gonna happen. Like we're probably going to lose. Like, I mean, yeah, it would have been amazing if we were talking about sweeping the Suns this year. But they're a really good team, and yeah, that I just don't think that was super realistic. Even if we played great tonight, we might not have won. So, yeah, but certain individuals can't afford nights like this if they want to stay in the rotation later in the year.
Yep, agreed. It's just, expectations changed a little bit after you get that first road win against Phoenix. Like, ooh, how good could this road trip be? But shout out to JB YouTube in chat that says in pregame, Casey Holdall alluded to the idea that Lillard probably would have played today if Blazers lost on Friday. So, it seems like reading into what Casey Holdall said, but if that's true, then I would expect Damian Lillard to play on Monday, which would be awesome. And Damian Lillard ran up to Jeremy Grant after that buzzer beater, so he seemed okay.
Remember when I said I had the feeling it was kind of dependent on that?
Yeah.
The other day?
Yeah.
And I said that's probably not the best way to approach it. Like, I'd rather just be like, no, we're Dame, you play when you're ready to play. Don't worry about that kind of, like, how the team's doing. I think it's more important that Dame is healthy before he plays instead of, like, needing him back out there because we just lost last night or whatever. So hopefully that's not the case, and that just meant that he was really close to playing and that they decided to sit him out again because, you get an extra couple days by not playing tonight. And then, I don't know where that leaves Ant, but definitely hope to see Dame soon, but not until he's 100% ready.
Absolutely. Don't rush him back from a calf strain, but I mean, if it could be a situation where Dame and Ant are back on Monday and the Heat don't have Jimmy Butler, and I have full confidence in the Blazers winning that game, and then you're sitting there, you beat Phoenix and Miami and had a loss to Phoenix, and then you got Charlotte up next. I mean, that would be awesome. So obviously hoping he's able to come back on Monday, but you got to have a long-term approach to this as a team in regards especially to it's your best player and it's a calf injury, which is something you don't mess around with because that could translate into Achilles problems, which you definitely just don't want to deal with. So anyway, let's jump into the breakdowns.
All right, obviously when you lose by 20, not the most exciting breakdowns because there were lots of breakdowns tonight on the defensive end and lack of ball movement on the offensive end. So this is a play, you see it's early on, 12-11, and this is going to result in a wide open three by their best player, and let's play the fun game of what happened and why did we give up an open three.
Yay.
And so Booker has the ball here on Winslow, and he's going to try and drive. Winslow is going to do a pretty good job of staying in front of him, and Sharp is going to sag down and help. So right here in the second slide, do you like Sharp helping there, or would you rather just leave Winslow on an island and let Nurk help, or what?
Nurk's the help, but I mean you can't help off a corner shooter one pass away. You can't be 15 off your guy 15 feet off your guy one pass away. If Booker beats you to the rim, you want to help from the side where there's more offensive players because you still have defenders over there to rotate out to the pass. Whereas if Sharp helps, Sharp has to be the one to get back out here, and that's not good.
So, Booker's going to drive into both of them, kick it out. Sharp actually does a good job of recovering, and it is Torrey Craig, so not the greatest three-point shooter, so maybe you can get away with it in Sharp's case. But he does a good job in the third slide of recovering out, and then Torrey Craig's going to take a couple dribbles in, and for some reason, Winslow decides to leave Devin Booker in the corner on this Torrey Craig. It's not even a drive. He's going across the court. And I have no idea what Winslow's thinking here. Sharp is not in a position where he needs help. When you're guarding Devin Booker, you do not leave him pretty much for any reason. And like I don't understand this. Like maybe you could say uh he thought they were switching back or something. I don't know, but like I don't get why he went like it's Torrey Craig. Like he's not going to get past Sharp. Like let him go. And so he kicks it over to Booker. Booker or Sharp tries to get there, but it's too late, and Booker gets a wide open three.
Yep, and that's the type of defense the Blazers played all game long. Just silly, stupid mistakes. This is the type of mistakes we made on the road last year, so can't have that. Especially from Justice Winslow, who's supposed to be your, really good defensive player, and he has some good defensive moments. But yeah, he also will occasionally make some mistakes like this that I just don't really understand. So not good.
And with the rookie out there, he's got to be the one not making this mistake and communicating that.
Yeah.
And so yeah, can't have the.
Well.
And especially if you're guarding Booker, man. Like if he's the one guarding Craig, like, and you're helping on Booker, I could see it because like throwing a double team occasionally at Booker and making Craig beat you is maybe a good strategy. But you can't do the opposite. Torrey Craig does not deserve a double team when you're guarding Booker. Like, you just never do that.
Absolutely. Let's jump into play number 2.
All right, so here's another play. They are kind of setting up this double screen for Chris Paul on the top, who is being guarded by Keon Johnson. And so you see Sharp is there. He's guarding the first screener. So this is a situation where they're going to try and switch between those two, Keon and Sharp, because those two are fine to switch between. But the problem is you have a third defender there, Nurk. You don't want to switch with Nurk and have one of the guards be on Biyombo while Nurk tries to guard Chris Paul.
Yeah.
So that's the only situation in this you want to avoid.
Yeah.
And in the next slide...
Can I just say something about this first, though? I like Keon and Sharp are similar, so it's fine if they switch. But if it's a situation like this where that first screen... that's not even a good screen. Chris Paul's not going to shoot off this, then don't switch. Just stay home. Just get through that. Because you probably would rather have Keon on Chris Paul and Shaedon Sharp on Mikal Bridges. Like, it's fine if those two guys switch, but you'd probably rather have those matchups. That's why they're guarding who they are. So if it's a screen where Chris Paul isn't even looking to shoot off of it and you can easily go under because of how high it is, then just get through the screen. I'll just say that right now. I don't know how the rest of this play plays out, though, so we'll see.
Okay, so the thing is, though, look how much... Sharp is already looking at the screen in this picture, right? Mm-hmm. He sees it, and he's going to go under it. But if he just shoots the gap right here, Biyombo can't screen him without moving, and he could just be right up on Chris Paul and be in position, right?
Yep.
So, like, he just, like, a little bit more aggressive, or like you said, Keon could easily get around, I think that's Mikal, and get through that pick, and then go over the screen of Biyombo as well. So it's set up for them to switch with the two guards and have it played well if they are more aggressive here, but they play it a little passive. However, in the third slide, we see Sharp getting taken out by the screen as Biyombo starts to roll, and it looks like Nurk is going to have to switch on to Chris Paul. But Sharp's quick, and he gets out anyway, gets back, recovers to Chris Paul. Nurk rolls back in the fourth slide and gets back to Biyombo with no advantage. So nice work there. Even though he did the wrong thing, he eventually got back and gets up on Chris Paul in the fifth slide. And Chris Paul doesn't, we talked about how slow his shot is getting off, so he doesn't have a shot here. So Sharp does a good job there. And then Chris Paul is going to bring it over and hand it off to Devin Booker here. And he's going to screen for Hart. And once again, Hart, Sharp are basically, Hart's obviously a better defender at this point, but like those are two guys you want to basically switch all picks with. And so they do that. They switch. And they get Sharp does a nice job, plays out on Booker. He doesn't have a shot. And And then Booker doesn't have anything. So Hart's now in the corner on Chris Paul. And Biombo's going to come up and set a pick for Booker. And Sharp's going to go under it. But really quick getting through the screen. Nurk does a good job of letting him get through the screen. And you can see from this slide here to the next slide, Sharp doesn't ever lose more than a second of time on Devin Booker, and Booker doesn't get an open shot off of this, and he's forced in the last slide to take a tough three. So even though he kind of messed up going under that first screen, when that play probably should have been an over or shoot the gap type situation, Sharp did a really good job of getting through the screens quick enough and recovering to make it so that Phoenix didn't have the right shot. So the screens with Nurkic, he fought through and got there. The screens with Hart, he switched correctly. Just a really good possession defensive-wise there. If Booker makes that shot with the hand in his face, you live with it. And I just like the action, the rotations, and just the flat-out quickness of Sharp on this one.
Yep, absolutely. All right, play number 3.
Play number 3 is just two pictures. We have the ref handing the ball to Chris Paul out of bounds.
Uh-huh.
He takes the ball, passes it in, and
what?
It's to their best player, Devin Booker, who's just standing there wide open and shoots a 3.
What? The Blazers look like they're in zone too.
Yep. So they go in zone. Don't even bother. Grant and Sharp don't bother getting the guy just standing there at the top of the key. And yeah, just
God, we were so bad defensively this game.
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
The fact that they only had 102 points is baffling to me, because this was by far our worst offensive game of the season.
And this is really why I don't like zones out of the side inbounds or underneath inbounds, because Sharp's got to be on Booker here, but if he originally was he thought he was supposed to stay on Chris Paul, and then Grant thought he was going to Booker, but if you do that, then Hart's guarding no one. So Hart needs to be. So if Booker passes back to Chris Paul, then Hart's got to be there from the bottom. But yeah, just complete lack of focus and detailed energy, effort, all that kind of stuff tonight. And I mean, just giving up a wide open shot off an inbound pass. And this was like, this is the one where I think where Dame was like arguing with them about a call, and so it like took a while even for them to give the ball to Chris Paul. So yeah, it's just complete breakdown here and result in a wide open 3. Now whether he makes this or not, I think he ends up missing it, but just can't have this kind of thing and expect to have a really good defense.
We call it Brandt's breakdown for a reason. Because too often it's too many breakdowns. Yep.
Tonight it was loose.
So anyway, there you go. That is Brand's breakdown. Thank you, Eric. Yeah. So what now, man? I do not want to talk about this game. This is the first game of the season where it's just like, dude, I don't even have anything else to say. I don't have much to say. I don't even want to talk about it. We'll take questions from chat, maybe.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, we just gotta, like I said, not let this affect our mood for the next game. Hopefully that point is hammered home that this is exactly how we cannot play to expect to win games on the road. You have to bring that energy, and that's what we talked about this team.
I mean, I hope this team just knows that they didn't bring enough energy and knows what they did wrong, because they've been doing the right thing for the most part, so they can probably tell the difference. And sometimes teams will have those games no matter what, even the best teams in the league. So hopefully it's a situation where it's like not even anything much needs to be said. Like this team just kind of knows.
Except the Bucks this year.
Huh?
Except the Bucks this year so far.
I mean, You look at the Bucks last year when they had games occasionally like
Yeah,
this. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
every team, and they'll probably have games this year.
Right.
You know, it's just
Bucks are 9-0, first 9-0 team since the 73-win Warriors.
yeah. But look at who they've played. They've played
I know.
the Thunder, the Timberwolves, the Pistons twice. The Hawks are solid. The Knicks are solid, but they're not like great teams. The Nets are okay, I guess, but they've been bad. The Rockets, the Sixers, like that's not a super easy schedule, but I think that schedule has been a little easier than ours. You know, the Thunder and the Pistons twice, and the Rockets and the Timberwolves haven't played well. The Sixers haven't played well. Not to discredit them or anything, but you know, they play a Phoenix Suns team on the road like this tonight, and I wouldn't put it past the Bucks to lose by 10 or 15 points. You know. This is a really good Phoenix Suns team that the Blazers have already had to play 3 times. They're 7-2, and the Blazers have 2 out of the 3 games against them. So that just goes to show how tough it's been, and gotten some good wins that are hard to get, which matters because the easy to get wins are still hopefully to come.
Sorry, I just looked at the schedule for Monday.
Yeah,
Guess what?
it's 15 games. I know.
Every single team plays on Monday.
Yeah, because in every game tips off every 15 minutes.
What is there a reason? I know.
Election day on Tuesday.
Yeah, because no one plays on Tuesday, right?
Because it's election day. Yep.
Yeah, and so they're trying to promote voting. Yep, that's
and then
right.
Wednesday.
I was like, it's not. No, wait, Martin Luther King Day when they all play is on.
Yeah.
that's like next year, like in 2023.
And then Wednesday there is 13 games. So yeah, so picks against the spread on Monday over on our second channel. We're gonna be picking 15 freaking games. I'll start getting the graphics. I'll start on the graphics right now, and we'll see if I'm done by Monday. Oh my god, man, that's brutal. So yeah, if you want to participate,
I mean, it'll be fun to have that many games to pick.
I know, but that's gonna be the entire stream, Eric.
Yeah,
the entire stream. That's crazy.
Well, then let's see what time does our game start? 5:30.
5:30. Yeah, which is a solid time because it's in Miami, so it could be earlier. That's 8:30 local time, so
yeah.
That's wild. All right, chat. We'll take questions. I can't do a Q&A feature on this channel. I can do it on the second channel though, which makes no sense to me. I don't understand why.
Yeah, we could either. It could just jumble us up even more, or it could have someone separate if they have a really good day in picks.
Yeah. I mean, picks against the spread is a crapshoot for the most part. But,
yeah.
Especially early in the year, but yeah, we'll take questions and then we'll wrap up the stream. We'll probably go an hour and then just.
Reese wants to know what you think about Jokic's lack of field goal attempts.
He's just I don't know. He's just not shooting. I don't know. He doesn't seem aggressive this year. I don't know what's going on with him mentally, but he's not being aggressive as a scorer.
I think he's making a concerted effort. He's got some guys that have been out now with injury for a while. Michael Porter Jr. and Jamal Murray. I think he's just, and then he got some new players in KCP, Bruce Brown, trying to get acclimated. I think he's just trying to get them on the same page. So I mean, he can shoot whenever he wants. He's 7 feet. He can get those shots up. He's good at driving to the basket. He can post up. So he can shoot threes. Yeah, he'll get those shots up if he wants to shoot them. So to me, when he's not shooting a lot, it's like a concerted effort not to, and he's just choosing to try and speed up the flow of their team playing together.
Yep. We'll take more questions. I'm just looking at standings right now. If you think the Utah Jazz's season is a fluke, the Blazers, just looking at the West, the top 3 other Western Conference teams, the Blazers have played 5 of their 9 games against. And they are 3-2. So you will take that.
Yep.
But still, I mean, the Blazers have had some close wins, so this could easily be a 3-6 record.
Mm-hmm.
Which even against who they've played wouldn't be terrible or wouldn't be season ending or anything. Obviously, the vibes would be different, but it's like there's obvious room for improvement, and they're still winning games, so that's the hope. And Dame's out, been out for a couple games, and Ant's been out, and GP2 hasn't played, so that's where the optimism really comes in. Get those guys back, and then clean up the freaking turnovers, man. I'm so tired of the turnover numbers. Let me look up turnovers per game NBA teams. That's what I'm gonna Google. NBA team turnovers per game. The Blazers average 16.8 turnovers per game. There's two teams. I don't know if this is updated for tonight. But 16.8 turnovers per game. There's two teams that are worse. Do you have any clue who those two teams are, Eric?
I don't know.
One of them might surprise
Lakers?
you. Nope. They're both supposedly well-coached teams.
I'm not sure.
Golden State is one of them. And San Antonio is one of them.
Yeah.
Both teams that thrive off ball movement. San Antonio's had a pretty solid start to the year by their standards, and then Golden State's the defending champs.
Yep.
So
3-7.
Yep. And then the only other team kind of like really close to Portland, the Clippers average 16.7 turnovers per game. The best team at taking care of the ball is Toronto and Atlanta. So, and they average about 12 turnovers a game. The Blazers are about 17. So, I mean, you get those down to 13, 14, that's an extra 2-3 shots a game. You make one of them. I mean, in the long run, that's going to matter. That's going to matter. And here's the thing. Turnovers create good scoring opportunities sometimes as well. So it might help the Blazers' defensive numbers to simply take care of the ball better offensively.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. Shout out M. Alam, $5 donation, says, with the success we have had, would you guys do a KD trade if available for Sharp, Ant, Nas, and picks? If this team keeps playing like this, no.
Yeah. I mean, it would take more than that because that's not even close to enough salary. So we'd have to give up even more than that too. So yeah, that's tough. I mean, theoretically, you'd think a KD Dame with even just like keeping one or two players in our rotation right now would be really good.
KD, Dame, Grant, Nurk. If you threw Hart in, that might be close enough. Hart and Winslow, but I mean, yeah, that's a pretty dang good team. It's just I want to see how good this team can be before I start talking about I'd do this trade, right? Because we haven't even seen this team at full strength.
Yeah, I mean, I can see both sides of the argument. But then you watch like KD's, like even before the Kyrie other stuff, like. Kyrie was putting up like 37, 39-point games, and KD was playing well too. I think they combined for 37, like 2 games this season in the same game.
Yeah.
And they lost both of those, I think. So is the defense really that much better if you give up a bunch of our defense than their defense is, like, to combat that when you consider Dame's not really, I mean, Kyrie's probably a better, or like at worst case scenario, they're neutral defenders.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just, I don't know, if you can hold on to enough of your players like a Grant, or maybe you get to keep an Ant or something, and you can make it work somehow. I don't have my problem going for it, but with being hard capped, it's just really hard to trade for someone making $45 million, whatever he makes, and have it not really gut your team.
Yeah, absolutely. And offensively, how much does that actually raise our ceiling? It's hard to say. I mean, cohesive teams that play well off each other are the teams that are doing well, not just the teams that have the most talent. So yeah, while it might be a talent upgrade, that doesn't necessarily, I don't know if that necessarily matters.
Yeah. And I don't know, like, if we kept Grant, like, does he and KD fit really well together? I mean, it'd be cool to have two long forwards, I guess, but
You would not have to throw in Hart, Grant, and Nurk to make the salaries match, Kyle, because Ant makes 25 mil. Sharp makes about 6, that's 31. Nas is making about, 4.5, that's 35. KD's making, 43 million, Eric?
it's somewhere at 44, I think.
Yeah, and you have to duck the hard cap. So if you throw in Hart, that's already a little bit more salary than KD. You just have to fill those roster spots with minimum signings. But Hart,
I'm assuming
what's up?
I was saying, I'm assuming if we got KD that they would, even though we're hard cap, they'd be willing to pay the little bit of tax or whatever. But
so it'd work with Hart thrown into it.
Mm-hmm. But like, would the Nets want? I mean, it could find third
Hart
team,
to a third team probably,
yeah.
But yeah. So you wouldn't need to do Grant and Nurk on top of throwing in Hart with those guys, unless you're saying if you traded those guys instead of Ant and Sharp. But anyway,
did you see De'Aaron Fox's game winner tonight?
Nah, people keep talking about it. I'm gonna watch it after the stream, but I heard he had a buzzer beater after we had a buzzer beater, so good for him.
Yeah, he I forget who they played.
Orlando.
Orlando, that's right. Orlando tied the ball game with a few seconds left, and then they got the ball. The Kings had the ball with a few seconds left. I think it was Davion Mitchell threw a horrible pass. It got Trey Lyles couldn't handle it. It went right to a Magic player who went and laid it in to tie the game with a few seconds left, and they inbounded it and got it to De'Aaron Fox, and he drove down the court and shot it from just past the half court circle and cashed it at the buzzer.
Nice, that's dope. I'll have to watch that after the stream, which will be ending soon. But Bol 10 for 11, 23 points. Banchero had 33, Wagner 31. That was an OT game. Jalen Suggs is so hit or miss. 35 minutes, 6 points, 2 for 7. But had 7 assists and is one of the best guard defenders in the league. So if you can ever figure it out as a scorer, he's still very young. Then he could be one of the best all-around guards in the league. He's only 21 years old, so he got some time to figure it out. My guy Jay Suggs. But yeah, Sacramento 3-5. Anyway, if you have any questions that you really want answered, we read off all donations. Thank you to everybody who's donated. But otherwise, we're going to be live again on Monday with picks against the spread stream featuring 15 games, and then the Blazers tip off probably right after that stream is done at 5:30 p.m. Pacific time, 8:30 Eastern time against the Miami Heat. We'll see who plays in that game. No idea. You could have Dame and Ant versus Jimmy Butler. You could have none of those guys playing. So we'll see.
Yep. Absolutely.
Taylor, not really. We talked before that. Anyway, go ahead.
Colonel Pancakes says he has a feeling this stream's energy will, I'm assuming he's. Oh, this stream's energy will be different after Miami. LOL. 7-3.
Hopefully, man. Hopefully. Yeah. It's weird being a good team. The losses don't necessarily get that much easier. It's just because it's the stream last night is so much fun. The winning is so much fun that I just want it to keep going. So then when it doesn't keep going, it's like, damn, especially when it happens like this. Whereas last year we had to kind of get used to this. And now we don't have Terry Stotts to rag on and rage about. So it's not the same without that.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think I would have been in a little better mood if we saw the effort tonight, but then it was just obvious Phoenix was better roster, exactly. Right? But I feel like we didn't do any of the things tonight that we did last night to keep us in the game early on, and then to go on that run in the second quarter. So like I felt like we just kind of were satisfied with winning one, and yeah, it would have been great to get this, but I felt like once they started building a lead, it was just like, oh well, we won one, type of thing.
Yeah, that's how it
And
felt, which was
that's more frustrating to me than if we would have been talking about, man, they get one of these games and then like really fought them tough the second night of a back to back with no Dame and Ant. That would have been pretty cool, even if we lost tonight. But yeah, like Mute the Bozo says, just higher expectations now that we're 6-2.
Yeah, for sure. Happens. Is what it is. We'll see how this team can do against Miami a couple days from now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Colonel says we'll be fine. We don't have our two best players. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Yeah, we'll be fine. Just not happy with the way they played tonight. I could have been happy with the way they played tonight, even in a loss, but no, that was rough. So.
Zach wants to know your favorite cereal.
Cereal? Dude, I don't know, man. Honestly, I don't have a favorite. That's a good question.
He said Kyle picked the right answer.
It changes all the time. It changes all the time.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
I don't eat Cinnamon Toast Crunch is a good go-to. Yeah, I'll go with that.
Yeah, I like Frosted Flakes if I'm having like actual cereal with milk. But unfortunately, I can't really drink milk or have cereal like that anymore. So like if I'm just eating cereal out of the box or whatever, I think I am leaning towards Fruit Loops.
Yeah. I'm hungry as hell because I ordered a DoorDash order. This is also why I'm not streaming super long. I ordered a DoorDash order during that game, and it got canceled. So I didn't have time to order another one, and it's like my refund hasn't come through. I'm just I don't know. DoorDash can be annoying. Don't tell them I said that, considering I drive for them. But yeah, so I am starving, and the cereal question just reminded me that I'm starving. So anything else for the stream?
Dro, I answered that earlier in chat, but just because no one else, or some people might have missed it. I have probably the weirdest array of Blazer jerseys out of anyone, and it's because, like, I don't know, I just, like, somehow got random jerseys at certain points or whatever, or, like, go to a G.I. Joe's out of business sale and you get a Greg Oden jersey for $10 or whatever. So, yeah, I just happened to, like, just get clearance jerseys or just been given them or whatever. So yeah, this is a Sebastian Telfair. Went that year. They had like the throwback jerseys, and I have like a Darius Miles, a Martell Webster, like just random ass players.
Yeah, that's very random. That is quite the collection there. You need to hang all those up after one of these streams. You had to say Greg Oden. You had to say Greg Oden to end off the stream. Very fitting. Very disappointing game today. The Blazers lose to the Phoenix Suns. Win the season series though. 6-3 going into game number 3 of this 6-game road trip against Miami. If they can win this game against Miami, I'm happy with this road trip pretty much no matter what. Yeah, it would suck if they lost the following 3 games, but 2-4 was kind of a realistic goal for them given how hard it is. But after that, Charlotte, very winnable game, so it should be at least 3 wins there if you can take care of Miami. And then you got Dallas and New Orleans, which are tough Western Conference teams, but given the way this Blazer team has been playing, if the Blazers have everyone back but GP2, they should definitely be in those games, and those are winnable games as well. So it'll just be interesting to see how the Blazers come out of this 6-game road trip, as I will take 1-1 with the split against the Phoenix Suns.
Absolutely. Eric Shaw says, y'all are tough at basketball. I remember THPRD must have been someone that played against us one of those days.
THPRD.
That's the place we have been meeting up to play basketball.
Gotcha. What's up? To whoever you are, what's up? Yeah. Somebody asked earlier if we played. Yeah. Or maybe that was Gabe's stream. Somebody asked. No, that was Gabe's stream. But yeah, me and Eric both know how to play a little bit. And yeah, I'm 6'4", and everybody always thinks I'm shorter than that because you look so big compared to me on stream, apparently. But yeah, so we both got some height as well.
Yeah.
Anyway, Taylor says, God dang it, Taylor. I thought I could get away with talking about this. Reddit's going to be in shambles. But yeah, hopefully you guys have a good rest of your weekend. A good Sunday ahead. And then Monday, we got jam-packed NBA slate. And then Tuesday, Election Day. Go vote. With all that being said, Eric, anything else for the sign-off?
No, thank everyone for watching, even after this bummer of a game. But yeah, can't all be as hyped as last night. So anyways, thank you for your support, and hope to see you on both streams on Monday.
Yep, Monday should be popping, especially if we take care of business. So good luck to the Blazers then, and have a good rest of your weekend. We'll catch you Monday. You just said all that. But we'll catch you Monday. Until then, as always, peace out. Go Blazers.